So, so as you know, the finite automata is considered as a language acceptor. That is, or you can also say an language recognizer, right? And as for the concepts of finite automata is concerned, it is a mathematical model which comprises of 5 components: states, right? And then the input alphabets, then the transition function, initial state, and your final states, right? Now, if you remember, in case of this deterministic finite automata or non-deterministic finite automata, both the elements or both the machines are having the same components, with the only difference is that in deterministic finite automata, we have got only one transition on a single input, right? But whereas in a non-deterministic finite automata, we can have multiple transitions on a single input from a particular state. And also this non-deterministic finite automata allows epsilon or lambda transitions. That means without any input also we can change the state. There is the basic two changes which we have specified in case of DFA or in case of a non-NFA, non-deterministic finite automata, right? And if you remember, in finite automata, we have specified Q is the number of states, sigma is the input alphabets, and the delta is the transition function, Q naught is the initial state, and F is the final states. And here also the every notations are, we are going to utilize the same notations, right? But one thing I'll let you know, in case of finite automata, what exactly the final state gives us an output. What kind of output we are expecting at a final state? If anyone remembers finite automata or NFA or DFA, what kind of output we are expecting at the final state? We are expecting that the final state, whether the string is accepted if we are reaching to the final state, or else the string is rejected, right? Now, the moment we are thinking about lexical analyzer, the final state is capable of providing some kind of additional outputs, right? So what could be the additional output the moment I'll reach to the final state? In case of a lexical analyzer, this final state should able to give me the output of 2 elements, token type and value. I'll talk more about this in subsequent classes, whenever we will exactly discuss about how exactly a lexical analyzer works along with this DFA or NFA. For the time being, just remember this final state is capable of providing some output like token type and its respective value or respective action. We'll talk more about that. So this is a typical example of a finite automata, a non-deterministic finite automata. And as I said, you can observe on a single input, we can reach to multiple states. May not be in all cases, but it is reaching to multiple states. For example, state 0 as an input of A, reaching to state 0 as well as state 1. And this is how exactly a non-deterministic finite automata is getting represented. And a typical transition table, the transition diagram can be replaced as a transition table. And we can replicate every information, whatever it is being presented in the transition diagram, in the form of a transition table also, mentioning the states, input symbols, and all other necessary information. This is another example where we are talking about an accepting expression like A star and B star or B star. So this could be a possible NFA where 2 NFAs has been considered state 1 to state 2, considering an input A, then state 2, there is a loop of A, so A star, state 3 to state 4 on B and a loop of B on 4, B star, and then can be identified or can be combined together within state 0, moving on lambda transitions to state 1 and state 3 without changing any input. right? I hope all of you are able to recall. Any point you are finding that it is difficult to recall or difficult to understand, please let me know, right? I'm assuming that the pace on which I will move forward, it should able to make you recall everything, whatever has been discussed with respect to finite automata and deterministic finite automata and non-deterministic finite automata. Similarly, deterministic finite automata, it is a special case of a non-deterministic finite automata. As you know, deterministic finite automata is always a subset of a NFA, right? A proper subset of NFA, because every DFA can be called as an NFA, right? So there is no, and in case of a DFA, there is no lambda transitions or epsilon transitions, and we cannot move to multiple states on a single input signal. That's what the changes with respect to the DFA is concerned. Now, if you remember, any kind of a DFA or an NFA is concerned, we are accepting a string, right? How exactly we are accepting a string? So, for example, here I'm going back here, and I would like to check acceptance of a particular string. Here, I would like to check the acceptance of a string A, B, B, A, B, B. So, how exactly my path is going to be? Can I check the acceptance by traversing through the transition diagram?
Yes, sir.
So what could be the states through which this input symbol is going to be traversed?
So
And
first we will start from A, and then on the 0 state there will be 1A. Then
0 on A, then reaches to 0.
We will go to 1 and then 2 and
Just
then
a second. Just a second. Sir, no faster. 0. Then it is to 0. Sorry, A on 0 or 1. Sorry, this is a 0, because there is on A there are two outputs, so 1. So here also on A it is a 0 or it is a 1. So both the things. So but for acceptance I can go out state 0 to state 0 to state 1. On 1 it is B to 2. Then on 2 it is B to 3. Right. So it is a final state. So I'll say that it is accept. Similarly in case of a DFA also. Now the same DFA we have just represented everything, the acceptance of a string with respect to an algorithm. That's what it says, simulating a DFA. Similarly, we can also have a simulator for a non-deterministic finite automata with respect to some minor changes. So, and simulating a DFA says what? We are supposed to start it from the initial state Q0. In this case, it is considered as S0. Excuse me. In this case, it is considered as S0. Okay. And then it says C is equals to next character. That means it has to read to the input string which we are supposed to process. So it reads the next character. If the next character is not an end of file, that means it is not an end reaching here, then checks the next state is equals to the transition table on the current state and the current input. That's what we have checked. So on the transition table, move is the table representing the transition diagram. Currently I am on Q0, which is being represented as S. So I am currently on Q0 and input is A. Then I'll move to Q0, say, for example. So this transition table have the information and moves to S. This is the new current state. Now S represents the current state, and C is again assigned to the next character. So the next character is being read again post the input is being verified and move to the next state. This process will continue till you are reaching to the end of the file. So this while loop will continue till you reach to the end of the file. And after that, you will be definitely reaching to S as some state. So if the final state or the S, the current state which you have reached to at the end of the input is in F, then you accept or you reject, right? So this is all about an programmatical or an pseudo code for simulating a deterministic finite automata, right? Now, if I would like to give you a task to input a DFA accepting a language L A or say A B B A A B B. These are the 4 strings available in the language. So what would be your basic steps to check or to verify the DFA constructed is accepting this particular language? So through this particular pseudocode, or through this particular, if I'll give you a task of writing a program for this, what exactly your action would be? That means we are assuming that a DFA is already existing. Right? A DFA is already existing. Now, if a DFA is already existing, what are the components of the DFA? States, Q, then input alphabets, that is sigma. Then I have got transition function, that is delta. Then I have got the information of initial, that is Q naught. I have got the information of final, that is F. So all these informations are already created, right? That means to represent my DFA should have all these informations, right? So in that particular case, my DFA would look like a structure. I can declare struct as a DFA1. In the structure, what are the components I am containing? I am containing states, Q, sigma. Then I have gotten a transition. This delta is a transition table, so this should be an ideally it's a matrix of 2-dimensional matrix having states and inputs, delta, and then I have got an initial state and I have got a final state. These are the variables that exactly what I'm supposed to consider. Now here Q is nothing but a list. Sigma is also a list. This is one element and F is also a list, right? So list means it can be represented in 1-dimensional array. This also can be represented in 1-dimensional array. This also can be represented in 1-dimensional array. So once I'll put all these informations and I have got all these informations, I can work on this particular simulation program. I hope all of you are able to accept or understand what exactly I'm talking about. I'm just simply talking about how exactly we can implement a program to check whether a DFA accepts a language or not. Currently, I'm not bothered how exactly the DFA is constructed. Currently, I'm assuming that my DFA is constructed and can be represented in a programmatical structure, which probably we have not done in the previous semester in the case of a finite automata or the finite state machines are concerned, which we have discussed earlier. Theoretical concepts are discussed, but ideally we have not discussed about how exactly it is going to be represented in a programming language. Now, if I would like to represent in a programming language, I may use a structure, I may use a class, depends on type of programming language which you can use. But the moment we have to combine or we have to consider this DFA as a abstract data type, because there are multiple data elements available within this. So combining them together, this DFA could be an abstract data type, and post creation of this DFA or construction of this DFA, I can work on this particular process. Are you getting my getting or not? Any doubts?
Sir, ये section of code explain कर दीजिए sir एक बार.
Okay, that I will explain again. But how exactly DFA is getting presented, are you able to find or not? Are you able to understand or not? See, whatever process I am going to follow to see, for this program to be implemented, what is my input?
Initial state.
Yes. What else?
The strings, the words which comprises of the strings.
The string for which I am supposed to check acceptance or reject. What else?
Yes, sir.
Is the only initial state is capable or anything else is being required?
Final state.
I need all information. The input to this particular code is a DFA. The DFA means Q, sigma, delta, Q naught, and F. All information should be priorly available before we enter into this code. Let us assume all these informations are available. Considering the terms here, let me say this is S naught. Okay. So the initial state, the moment I'll consider any DFA to be processed, say for example this is the initial state, this is the final state, this is A, this is B. I would like to process Q naught, Q1, Q2. Now what exactly I'll do? Delta of Q naught, comma AB. I'm supposed to process. That means this is the current state. This is the current input. I do not know whether it is initial state or a final state, but the initial state, I have to start it from the initial state. The initial state will be considered and will be considered as the current state to be processed. Okay. And then I'll do delta of Q naught. Sorry, I'll just distribute this on the same delta of Q naught, comma A, comma B, and so on. Right. So I'll process this. The result of this particular element will generate Q1, and Q1 will be processing on B. Right. That's what the process is all about.
So,
the same thing is being.
बीच वाला step समझ में नहीं आया.
कौन सा ये वाला?
हाँ सर, double delta कैसे हो गया?
See, there are multiple elements. 1, 2. Q naught is not processing all the elements. Q1, Q naught is only processing the current input. Right. So this expression is processed. Now the moment Q naught on A, what is the output? Q1. I'm processing this. Sir. So one transition is processing and I'm reaching to Q1, and the Q1 will process the further transitions on B. So that's what the explanation is all about. The whole expression, see, this is, if you remember, let me represent once again. Q naught, Q1, Q2, initial, final, A, B. I hope all of you remember there are two notations, delta and delta cap. Was it discussed? Or delta star somebody might have discussed with the delta star also.
Yes, sir.
Right? Both are same. Delta cap or delta star, both are same. So what is the difference between these two? The difference is this: the moment you're talking about delta, it processes one alphabet. This process a string. So whenever a DFA is being given and we are supposed to process a string, the ideal expression is delta star Q naught AB. In this case, I'm just considering this case. This is expanded as delta of Q naught A, comma B. Right? So multiple deltas. So whatever number of deltas are required depending on the length of the string. So every delta is, the inner expression will be evaluated first. So this will be evaluated. results in Q1. So the next expression would be
Q1
delta
comma
of
B.
Q1 comma B results in Q2. So that's what the division is all about. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the processing happens like this. So the same thing is being happening in the while loop. Okay. So here, let me just erase all these elements. So what is my current state? My current state is the initial state. What is my next character? Next character is A. So what exactly it checks? Whether the next character is an end of file. No, it is not an end of file. So it consults the transition table move. So in the transition table, I have got Q0, Q1, Q2, A, B. Q0 on A is Q1. So in the transition table, it finds Q1. Now S is being updated to Q1. So Q1 is the next current state. And the character C reads the next character. That means A is processed. It will read to the next character B.
B.
Okay. And checks again, the loop completes, checks C whether C is end of file again. No. C is reading a B. So what is the current state? Current state is Q1. So this is Q1 comma B again. What is the output? Q1 comma B is to Q2. So, Q2. So now S contains Q2. S contains Q2, S value. And C reads the next character. What is the next character? End of file. There is no other character, so it should be an EOF. So now checks whether C is not equals to EOF. No, the condition is false. So it will come out of the loop and checks S. What is S now? S is Q2. Q2 is an F. Yes, Q2 is an F. So return yes. So if at all Q2 is not in final state, then definitely it must have said that return. So this is how the simulation of a DFA with respect to a program or the algorithmic is concerned. Everything is same. The concept of theory and the program is same. That's all about programming representations. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So moving further. So this is one sample example of a DFA I have given, and you can check very well along with this. If you can consider this DFA as an input to the program and check for some of the inputs, then definitely you can go ahead and check whether it is accepting or rejecting some of the strings. So moving forward, before we move on to the construction of these DFAs and all, as you know, the process is very critical with respect to the DFAs. First is regular expression. Then what? DFA. Then what? DFA. Then what? Minimize DFA. Right? Ultimately, we have to go for a minimized DFA because the number of states objective is to reduce the amount of memory space utilized by the particular DFA. Now, why there is a lengthy process? Why not directly from regular expression to DFA? Any reasons? Are you able to get the question?
So repeat the question once.
Why we are going through directly? Why we are not constructing a minimized DFA directly from a regular expression? Why we are going through this NFA and then DFA and then minimized DFA? Why there are multiple processes involved? Rather, we could have said, given a regular expression, construct a minimized DFA directly by utilizing some algorithm. Why is it so?
Due to increased complexity.
Due to its complexity. Okay. What kind of complexity we will find here? Can you give some examples? What could be what kind of complexity we may find?
It may be possible that when we are converting an regular expression to minimize DFA, then we might miss some edge or some accepting string.
Okay.
So that
Good.
is why regular expression to NFA is easy, and then NFA to DFA. That is why we are going step by step. That is why.
Is it so? Any other answers? Okay. Just answer this question. If you can. How many DFAs can be constructed for a C language? For C language. Yes. Any guesses? I know definitely you do not know the answer, but any guesses?
Sir, we can create as many as you want.
As many. Give me a number. It's definitely finite. The number is always finite.
So you need one would be.
Huh?
Only one would be.
We are saying who? What's your roll number, beta?
117.
Roll number 117. It is only one DFA. Any other answers? Any guesses? I am not saying that you are able to say the right answer or a wrong answer. Any other numbers you can guess? Somebody said that any number, but any you cannot go on infinite number of DFS, right? You have to have finite number of DFS. If you are having any number in mind, you can say that. No guesses? I think there are 50 odd people present in the class now. Only one response.
Sir, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है.
समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. Okay. What exactly are not able to understand? Question is very simple. For a C language, I have asked for a C language, how many DFAs can be constructed? It's only a number to be told by with your analysis and intelligence, because you have already studied some automata theory in the previous semester. Yes. Tell something.
So 1.
Who said?
Sir, 206.
206. I'll ask why exactly. Justifying. 206 says it is 1. Again. Who else? I think all our others are asleep. Anyway, 117. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain why exactly 1 DFA?
Every program has
Your voice is not audible, but can you please ensure your mic is working properly? Come again. It's a very common question and a very common answer. Yes.
Sir, every question has only unique solution in DFA.
Every
Every program has its own unique solution, sir, in DFA.
so that's why it is only one DFA. Okay. 206.
Yes, sir.
What's your explanation on this?
So basically, we see the DFA in two ways, like if it has a final state or an no final state. So according to that, we take it to one, like the over here it's C, only one character, so 1 to the power, then how many
No,
states?
it's not C. It's a C language. I'm talking about C language, the programming language C.
Oh, okay, sir. So, I thought the C character you are talking about. Okay.
No. It's a C language. Then will there be any changes to the number?
So I thought it's you're talking about the character. Okay, sir.
Then in that case, is there any change in the number?
Then I have to think, sir. I'm not exactly sure for that one.
You have to think on that. Okay, please take your time. Now, in the meantime, any other answers? No answers, right? So ideally, fortunately or unfortunately, both the people 117 and 206 has said the right answer. This is the right answer. That for any, I would like to generalize for any language. For any language, right? Whether it is C, C++, Java, English, any language, there is only one DFA for each of the languages. Now, why exactly I'm saying this? If you remember, in case of your finite automata, which I already discussed, whenever you construct DFA, it is associated with only one language. Whether the language is containing infinite number of strings or the language is containing an finite number of strings, but it is only one language. So for one language, we will be having only one DFA. Now just think about a programming language like C, right? And one DFA for the programming language. Now what is the objective? What should be the objective of the DFA? The objective of the DFA in the programming language would like to identify the tokens, right? Then think about how many tokens are available. How many tokens are available? We have got keywords. Every keyword is individually can be considered as one token, though it is being grouped as one keyword. So in keyword, we have got 48 or 64, depending on the compiler, or 32 type of compiler. I'm just giving an example, right? Let us consider the lowest one. 32 keywords are available. Say identifier has got rules. We have got operators. In operators, we have got arithmetic operator, logical operator, relational operator, bitwise operator, right? Conditional operators, likewise. Then we have got some constants, numeric constants, alphanumeric constants, string constants. So everything is related, or everything has to be identified through a single DFA. Now, if everything has to be identified in a single DFA, then just imagine what could be the length of the regular expression and what could be the size of the DFA, right? That's why the program is very much important to implement this. We need to write a program to implement, because manually, if you go on and writing a regular expression, it will take pages together to complete the regular expression with proper notations. Say, for example, if I would like to represent regular expressions for few of them, then probably I may think for, let's say, keyword. What could be the regular expression for the keyword in a C language? Yes, I may say int is a or float, because they are individuals, or character, or double, or printf, or scanf, and so many. So what could be the length of this keyword? This is only for the keyword. In addition to that, you have got identifiers, you have constants. Everything has got regular expressions, and everything will be in a OR operation. So keyword, or identifier, or constants, or operators, and so on. And think about, if this is the regular expression, what could be the size of the keyword, right? But ultimately, for every language, only one DFA. So whatever maybe the number of keywords or number of tokens might be, that means what? That justifies the final states, individual final states. So every final state in the DFA is capable of providing their respective output and the dedicated output for the, if I'm reaching to the final state. Now, say for example, if I'm reaching to the final state, I'll say this is a keyword int. If I'm reaching to the final state, this is a keyword, then I can say it is a float, and likewise. Just think about how many number of final states we can have. Such a class